Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez said Sunday she has had enough of Washington's orders, as she works to unite the country after the U.S. capture of its former leader Nicolas Maduro. Rodriguez has been walking a tightrope since being backed by the U.S. to lead the country in the interim, balancing keeping Maduro loyalists on board at home while trying to ensure the White House is happy. Now, almost a month into her new role, Rodriguez has pushed back on the U.S., amid ongoing pressure including a series of demands for Venezuela to resume oil production. Advertisement. Enough already of Washington's orders over politicians in Venezuela, she told a group of oil workers in Puerto La Cruz City, at an event broadcast by state-run channel Venezolana de Television. Let Venezuelan politics resolve our differences and our internal conflicts. This republic has paid a very high price for having to confront the consequences of fascism and extremism in our country. U.S. President Donald Trump speaks to the press following U.S. military actions in Venezuela, at his Mar-a-Lago residence in Palm Beach, Florida, on January 3, 2026. Jim Watson, AFP. Getty Images. More. The White House has maintained steady pressure on Venezuela since Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, were seized in a raid in early January and taken to the U.S., where the former leader is facing charges. Rodriguez, Maduro's former deputy, has insisted in recent weeks that the U.S. does not govern Venezuela but, equally, has not sought confrontation with Washington. Advertisement. On Monday, she said at a public event that Venezuela does not fear the U.S. but stopped short of antagonizing the country. We are not afraid, nor are we afraid of maintaining respectful relations with the United States, but they must be based on respect for international law, basic human respect in interpersonal relations, and respect for the dignity and history of Venezuela, she said. U.S. President Donald Trump had claimed the U.S. was going to run Venezuela in the immediate aftermath of Maduro's capture, but he later backed Rodriguez as the country's interim leader. Earlier this month, Trump said he had spoken by phone with the acting Venezuelan leader and praised her as a terrific person. I think we're getting along very well with Venezuela, he added. CNN has contacted the White House for comment on Rodriguez's latest statement. Seeking stability. For the past 25 years, oil-rich socialist Venezuela has been in constant confrontation with the U.S. But after deposing Maduro, Washington is now seeking to secure a stable source of authority in Caracas. Law enforcement officials captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Cilia Flores, second from left, out of the helicopter in New York on January 5. Adam Gray, Reuters. More. Internally, there are divisions among Maduro loyalists, left-wing fractures who have opposed the direction of the government and Chavistas no Maduristas, supporters of the late Hugo Chavez who reject Maduro, accusing him of betraying 21st-century socialist ideals. Advertisement. Meanwhile, leaders of the Venezuelan opposition continue to watch how things unfold in the country and their future involvement remains unclear. Last week, Trump said that he would like to see Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado involved in the country's leadership in some capacity. Machado had lunch with Trump at the White House earlier this month, where she presented him with her Nobel Peace Prize. Days after the U.S. strikes on Caracas in early January, the Trump administration outlined a number of demands that Venezuela must agree to, including cutting ties with China, Iran, Russia and Cuba. And agreeing to partner exclusively with the U.S. on oil production, two senior White House officials told CNN at the time. A fire at Fuerte Tiuna, Venezuela's largest military complex, after a series of explosions in Caracas on January 3, 2026. Luis Jaimes, AFP. Getty Images. More. Rodriguez was also expected to prioritize the Trump administration and U.S. oil companies for future oil sales. Venezuela's main economic driver is oil. The country has the world's largest reserves of extra-heavy crude, a variety that requires a more complex and expensive refining process but which is also compatible with U.S. refineries. Prisoners released. The U.S. has also demanded that Venezuela release the many political prisoners it has locked up across the country. Advertisement. On Sunday, at least 104 people were freed, according to the rights group Foro Penal. The group said it marked one of the highest daily figures since the government announced on January 8 that it would release a significant number of detainees as a peace gesture to the U.S.